What's up, guys? So it's the end of the year. So right now it's December 16th. So I wanted to make this video for, I guess, my plans for next year. And that is that next year I want to make sure I get a way better garden next year than I did this year. This year I didn't do too bad. I did better than usual if you if you're keeping up with me in my garden. But I feel like next year I could do way better. So I did look up a video from Epic Gardening, where the 9 mistakes to avoid as a beginner gardener, uh, and I want to see how that relates to me. So yeah, I have the 9 things he said in his video written down in my notes, and I'll go over what he said and what and how that relates for me and my garden. Sorry, I had to put the hat on. The way the hoodie was looking on me, it was bothering me. So anyway, next year I do really hope to be able to grow corn and get it and be able to get a harvest from it. So hopefully, with these 9 tips, we can see next year any improvements. Uh, I now I have 6 raised beds, which is pretty cool for me. 2 of them have a trellis system, so those 2 trellis systems will be growing exclusively vining crops, so tomatoes, cucumbers, stuff like that. And the rest of them will be growing things that either crawl on the raised bed, I guess, or grow straight up and down. So like peppers, corn, and then with the corn could grow beans that can go up the stalks of the corn, which I think would be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, again, next year my goal is to get a bigger harvest of fruits and vegetables than I did this year. This year I don't think I did too bad, but next year I want to improve that even more. But you guys know I'm on dialysis. So I have a lot of health issues going on, so it is hard for me to go into the yard and do um, basically gardening stuff, despite me wanting to. So yeah, let's go with his tip number one: having a garden in an inconvenient place. So having a garden that's too far, or yeah, basically too far, or places you don't want to maintain, uh, which is um, which is a valid reason. But I live in like a small property, literally just in the backyard, or maybe in the future in my front yard too. So I don't think for me that's a inconvenience. So that part I'm not too worried about. So let's go to the second tip: planting in an area with very little to no sun. That is a good tip. Just because your vegetables your fruits and vegetables need a lot of sun, depending on the variety, of course, or the vegetable or fruit. They need a lot of sun, at least 8 to 12 hours of sun. I think at the very least 8 hours, right? Typically in my area, I don't have that issue. I get sun pretty much all day, uh, even though there's a house in the way that could keep parts of the area shaded. There are trees in my neighbor's house that are pretty large that could shade out some raised beds. The more specifically, the first 2 raised beds that I ever built. But maybe I just could plant stuff in there that's okay with a little bit of shade, depending on what it is. And yeah, again, for me, it's not that. Uh, I'm not too worried about that. It's just when it comes to wintertime where the sun is lower, I worry about it a little bit, but not too much, just because on the right side of me, where the wall is, uh, where I planted the trees are, they're not getting the sun right now. But yet again, they don't need sun right now either, so they could go dormant and be just fine. Okay, tip number 3: planting too far from a water source. Um, that is a problem. Uh, I do understand that's a problem for a lot of people. especially if you live in like a large area, like maybe like acres or something, and it's hard to get water to a certain area, so you don't want to deal with it. You probably don't even want to plant over there anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But I do have like a 100 foot hose, so I'm not worried about that. So having water is not uh, a problem for me. The problem for me is that the water in my city is chlorinated water, and obviously chlorinated water is not good for our soils. But um, if I'm in desperate need to water my garden, it's okay. I think I could buy filters for the hose, but some of them can be expensive. Sometimes they're really cheap too, but they don't last very long. So I don't know. It depends what you want to do. Okay, number four, not mulching. I do mulch, but for me and my problem, since I live in a desert area, I think I don't mulch enough. So maybe I put like a very light mulch when I reality I should I should be putting 2 to 3 inches of mulch. That's what he said on his tip at least. And I do like a very light mulch, and that's probably not good. And that's why the corn this year died on me because we got a heat wave and I wasn't home to water them, so they died back, and I wasn't able to bring them back from that heat exhaustion. So yeah, I think next year I want to add way more mulch to my raised beds than I did previous years, especially this year, especially when it comes to growing corn, because corn loves water. They don't like to be dry. They don't like to be overly wet either, but they don't want to be dry to the point where they're getting dehydrated. Especially because in my area it gets to 100 degrees. That's really hot. 100, 108, sometimes 110 degrees in my area. So yeah, that's a problem that I need to solve. So mulching is going to be a great help with that. Okay, number five, not preparing the soil. That can mean a bunch of different things for your soil, like amending the soil with compost, minerals, mulch, stuff like that. Um, if you've seen my previous videos before, you know that um, I have done mineral uh, remineralization before, and I've added compost to my soil before. So I'm all about that. So when it comes to the raised bed I plan to plant corn next year, I do plan on adding more compost to that. But that raised bed needs more soil in the first place, so I'm not adding compost yet. But when it comes time to plant corn, I'll be showing you me adding the compost on top of that. Then we're gonna plant the corn, and once it gets like 1 to 2 inches tall, I'll be adding a bunch of mulch on top of that, like 1 to 2 inches, no, 2 to 3 inches of mulch, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully we get a good corn harvest next year. That'd be really awesome. Okay, number six, planting food you don't like to eat. There is a lot of vegetables I don't like to eat, but I don't. That doesn't mean I don't want to try to grow them in the first. Well, I don't want to try to grow them at all. I do want to try to grow them, especially because if my soil gets better and improves year after year, that means uh, there's way more biology in my soil, and if the more healthy my soil is, the more healthy the plants will be, and the more healthy the plants are, I think the food tastes a lot better too. If I'm not mistaken, I wouldn't know. I only know stuff from the grocery store, right? The big box store, grocery store, or what I've grown. And so far, what I've grown at home tastes either slightly better or similar to the big box store. So I'm hoping with um, adding having my soil improve year after year, is that the food that I grow will taste a lot better too. So fingers crossed that would happen. Like I think there's more sugar in the plant, which makes it taste better. I'm not sure. I can't remember what I heard. I just know that it's like a sugar snap. I forgot what it's. Sugar sap analysis will show that there's enough sugar in the plant, making it taste better. I think there's like a biometer that you can use. I don't remember what it's called. If I remember uh, where I saw it from, I'll put a picture on here. But either way, that's number 6. Planting too closely. Now, when Epic Garner was talking about planting too closely, he just really meant overplanting. So like he was talking about beets, how they instead of there being like a one plant, there's a several seeds in this one pod that you plant in the ground. And the kale he was growing, it was too crowded, so that could be a thing. So far with me, I haven't had an issue with overcrowding my plants, so that's not something I'm worried about right now. If anything, not, I'm under planting, if that makes sense. So I'm not growing enough. There's too much soil exposure for me to worry about over planting. So I'm not worried about that. Uh, Number 8, planting in the wrong time of year. He said that's a particular issue for him, considering he lives in zone 9. So people uh, who don't have a true frost date, they don't, they have a hard time. They have a harder time figuring out when's a good time to plant their vegetables, right? Because for me, zone 8B, it does get cold right now. If I planted corn, it will not grow. The tomatoes, they will not do well either. By the way, I don't think I ever showed you a tomato update yet, but the tomato that I was showing previously did die back. So yeah, there's no more tomatoes growing on right now. Especially because right now it is getting down to the low 40s, high 30s. There was one day it went down to the low 30s and high 20s. That's when the tomato died. So yeah, right now is not a good time to plant the summer crops. Okay, number 9, not asking for help or getting help from, I guess, other farmers, gardeners, or YouTubers that do gardening videos. So that's the 9 beginner mistakes that beginners make, I guess. Um, for me, I watched a ton of videos on gardening. It's that it's just that I haven't implemented it enough or integrated it into my growing process enough to where I can have like a really good, successful gardening season. I've just done enough to get a harvest on something. But next year, I want all of my raised beds to be full of some type of crop. I don't know what yet. I just know the 2 raised beds that are growing a vine crop, and the 1 raised bed is growing corn and eventually beans. Maybe not a squash. I want to dedicate that to mostly corn and beans. Now that just leaves 3 other raised beds that I don't know what to do with just yet. I do, so I guess we'll figure that in a later date. But one of them will be dedicated to pepper, so I guess now 2 raised beds that I don't know what to do with. But other than that, guys, I think that's it for today's video. Again, I'm not a gardening expert. You could tell by my videos that my garden didn't do too well this year, but I do want to improve. So hopefully next year will be great improvement than this year. And if you want to see the process I'll be going through next year, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like to feed the other gods, and leave a comment and let me know what I should be growing on the first 2 raised beds that I haven't decided what to grow in yet. Thank you for watching, and peace.